As we stand on the threshold of 2025, it is a perfect time to reflect on our aspirations and redefine our priorities and build meaningful goals that will shape our lives. Goal setting is not a mere New Year tradition. It is the act of visualizing a better future and mapping out a clear path to achieve it. Benjamin Franklin once said, "If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail." We must plan so that we can succeed. And this is why it is important for us to make our goals. And what am I going to guide you through? There are about five or four components that I'm going to discuss with you. One is that you have to have academic goals. What are your academic goals? Number two, what are your personal development goals? Number three, what are your financial goals? Number four, what are your spiritual goals? And number five, what are your relationship goals? All these 5 elements are important for you to set your goals and plan your goals in a natural manner, because one, as a human being, you need to look out for your personal development. We must grow. We must grow every year, every day. We must mature. Our brains must think better. We must analyze things better. We must have a better understanding of how the world works. Every year, every day, we must improve. This is the more reason why under personal development, I'm going to talk about things like reading. What are your reading goals? What are you reading? And under spiritual goals, are you meditating? Are you taking time to nourish your soul? Because it also needs to be nourished. Are you taking time to exercise physically? Your body needs exercise. Your body needs to be stretched so that blood can flow properly in the body, and the more blood flows naturally, blood heals the body. And that is what we are going to look at in our goal setting. Let's speak about academic and intellectual development. So one of the goals that I want you to set is what we call the academic goals. What do we want to achieve from these academic goals? First of all, it doesn't matter whether you're a student, a lifelong learner, an adult, or a professional who's looking to advance their knowledge in their field or in their area of specialty. There are several opportunities that present themselves in the current modern world where we can achieve and conduct our lessons and learn and develop ourselves intellectually. Some of these are Coursera, offering a number of courses for free, or you can also pay up to get your certificates. There are a number of other similar websites like Coursera giving a lot of courses that you need. But what you must do, you must set SMART goals. What is SMART? So SMART, we're meaning your goals must be specific. What particular module do you want to achieve? What particular lesson do you want to learn? If you want programming, that's a specific goal. Okay, so your goal must be specific. Then your goal must be measurable. Okay, by measurable, it is something that you are capable of doing consistently and you know you can manage to complete. And then it must be achievable, something that you can do and succeed at doing it. And then it must be relevant. Is it relevant to your field? Is it giving you development? Or is it just for fun? So you must be able to choose what takes you from just learning to relevancy so that it gives you the knowledge that you require. Then the last is time bound. That is the T in the SMART means time bound. Give yourself a specific time frame. Let's say for a month I'm going to learn so and so, or I'm going to learn this module. And then when you pick that module, then you get the knowledge that you require. In terms of growth in that line, these are the things that you need. You need to set SMART goals and focus on your academic development. Your intellectual growth is very important for all of us. We need to grow in that area. I am reminded of one quote by one of my favorite authors, Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich. I'm sure you're familiar with that book. And he puts it out rightly. It says, the mind, when expanded with a new idea or by a new idea, it never returns to its original dimension. So your brain keeps expanding with knowledge. It expands, and you keep expanding. That's why we need that knowledge, the intellectual growth, and it's very important. Okay, let's speak about the actionable tips that you need when you're looking at academic goals. So these are your academic goals, and what we want you to do in terms of setting up your goals is to identify 3 to 5 areas where you want to increase your knowledge this year. Okay? It can be math skills. Okay? It can be coding. It can be any skill that you want to improve. And these are some of the skills that you can look at. Now select up to 1 to 5 areas, and then you pick on those and focus on those areas for your study. Also, you can join online learning platforms. I did mention there's a lot of training platforms that exist. One of them is Coursera, and then you also have MIT offers free lessons that you can get. And as a professional, you could go into attending workshops, seminars, and so forth. Okay? So these are the 2 tips. The last tip is to commit to attending academic conferences or engaging in professional networks. There are some conferences. If they have a conference in your area, you can visit that conference, attend. There's a lot of lessons that one can learn. The second aspect that we mentioned is the aspect of personal development. Now, we mentioned personal development goals. This involves your health, your body, exercising. Okay? So personal development, like we said, encompasses a lot of things. Financial, everything that we've mentioned can be also put under personal development. But what I want to bring your attention to is personal development being how you take care of your mind and how do you take care of your body. So these 2 ensure that you have a healthy body. Okay? You must have goals to energize your daily life. What are your healthy goals? What are you going to do in terms of exercising? So this is where you must set your goals straight. And there are 3 actionable items or 3 actionable tips that we are going to discuss. Now, one of my favorite authors, another of my favorite authors, Jim Rohn, once said, take care of your body. It is the only place you have to live. This is the only place you have to live. It's so deep a meaning that if you can't understand that, then you'll be careless about the way you handle your life, the way you handle your activities, and the way you handle your whole life. So Actionable tips. When we come to personal development goals, we did mention you're going to focus your goals on health and exercise. Okay, what are your actionable tips? The first tip is set your fitness goals, such as exercising 3 to 4 times per week. What type of exercises? Depends on your goals. Do you want to become lean? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to become physically fit? Did you have an injury and you want to recover? So you pick your exercises. The whole secret is to stay consistent. Stick to your consistent planned periods. Second is you adopt healthier eating habits by reducing the processed foods, increasing whole fresh meals. You are aware that processed foods have a lot of damage to the body, and that is why for us to be very healthy, we need to focus on eating healthy and good food. Number 3 is incorporate mindfulness practice. That is meditation, yoga. Bring that into your routine so that you can keep track of your health and keep improving your health and lifestyle. I must say, I mentioned 5 directions or aspects of life where you have to set your goals. But I'm going to add one more. And that one more is the reading and continuous learning goals. Similar to the academic goals, but this has to do with your own gain of knowledge. Things that we learn, especially non-fiction books, things that will guide you to understand more. So the mind, just like the physical body, it needs to exercise. Without that exercise, the brain muscles start to diminish and you lose that grip of the brain. That is why it is key that you are reading. One of the exercises that you must follow is to read every day. It could be a page, it could be 2 pages, but you make progress. Before you realize, one book is done. There's a famous quote by Mark Twain which says, "The man who does not read has no advantage to the man who cannot read." No advantage, one and the same. You are capable of reading, but you are not reading, and there is a person who's incapable of reading, and the two of you are not different. Would you rather, with the capabilities that you have, not read? No, that's sheer waste of time. Number 3 point is reading and continuous learning goals. I did mention this is the additional component that we added. Your actionable tips. Number 1, choose a specific number of books to read for 2025. What books are you reading? You could choose 12 books. That takes you 1 book per month. And there are a number of good books to read. Like a number of good books to read if you talk of personal development. I, for one, I've got my list. I will share in my next video my list of books for this year. And you can come along and we can read together and we can discuss some of those books and we see what you liked, what you learned from those books as we go on. Then you have to diversify your reading by selecting books on personal development, finance, history, and fiction. I personally focus more on personal development and finance because these to me are the areas where I'm building myself very much, and I'm going to be sharing with you how I'm building my finances, how I'm building my personal development. And history is good because with history, it gives you, patterns. It gives you the patterns. Like Tony Robbins says, you can identify patterns by studying history. And I would recommend reading books from Tony Robbins or by Tony Robbins, because he's very good at creating patterns, noticing patterns, and then from that pattern you can build your own patterns. And so Tony Robbins on this one, he really recommends, and he recommends reading biographies, reading history, because you can notice the patterns. Then you can join a book club or start a reading accountability group. You know, every country, every area you go, there's a library, and it's free membership. Join your local library and begin to read some books. Talk to your friends who are reading books. Start a book club. Start exchanging books. Start discussing books. That is one way to grow, and a lot of growth. Direction number 4, which is financial goals. Money is everything. Money can grow on trees. It's just that you have to build the tree. There are various ways that you can manage your finances, and one of which is a book that I'm writing right now, the 5-jar book, the 5-jar money principles. I shall share with you very soon. But other than that, there are a lot of lessons that we need to learn about money. One of my favorite books is The Richest Man in Babylon. This is my favorite book. This book has so many ideas, so many lessons for you to manage your resources. And I'm going to go through some of those in the 3 actionable tips that I'm going to give you. We're not going to break down everything that this book writes about, but I'm going to give you hints of what I'm going to talk about in my upcoming book, the 5-jar money handling principles. And also I'm going to give you actionable tips that you can utilize for the year 2025, so that you know how to manage and handle your finances. Financial goals as number 4. Actionable tips. Like I said, I am writing my book on the 5-jar principles, and these 5 jars are going to guide you how to run your finances. But other than that, set some saving goal for 2025. This is tip number 1. Have some saving goal. Break it into monthly targets. Number 2, plan to invest a certain percentage of your income in various areas. You could invest in stocks, in bonds, or other ventures, including businesses. A business is a good investment. Number 3, create a budget. Track your expenses to ensure you live within your means. This is one critical area. This is one area where a lot of people regret, even people with a lot of money, running finances without budgeting, where you're just spending, and at the end of the time, or when the good season ends, as you know, life has got seasons. Just as we have the season to plant and the season to harvest, life is a sinusoid. I always say, if you're an electrical engineer, you understand life very well. So there are positive moments and there are negative moments. Positive moments, negative moments. And in these cyclic seasons, these are the seasons of life. And in these seasons, this is where, if you remember the book in the Bible, when Joseph was in Egypt, when Pharaoh had a dream, and the interpretation of the dream was that you are going to have 7 good years and 7 bad years. So in that 7 good years, they saved the grains. They put their grains aside, and then when that period came, when that negative period came, they had the savings to compensate for that, and in a nutshell, they were not in the negative, but they were still on the positive side because they had prepared for that bad season. So you have to prepare for that bad season. And this is why you have to run on a budget and track your expenses. See how much you spend there, here, see where you can minimize your expenses, see where you can get more from your expenses to invest. Because remember the seasons, the bad season is still coming your way. And it's inevitable. You can never run away from seasons. Seasons come and go. And everybody goes through seasons. The spiritual goals. Inner peace is a very important aspect of humanity. Without that inner peace, we lose ourselves. We lose our direction. We lose what we are meant to do and what we are meant to become. One of the directions that is very important is for us to have our spiritual goals set and designed for this year. What are your spiritual goals? There is a very nice saying by Mahatma Gandhi that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Without other humans, we are useless. Our role on earth is to save other humans. Anything that happens, anything that one can have. Imagine if you have a business and you have no client. Imagine you are the trillionaire of the world. You own everything in the world and you are alone. Who are you going to share your wealth with? Who's going to look at your wealth? Who's going to appreciate your wealth? Everything becomes pointless. This is why the greatest knowledge or understanding is that we exist because others exist. We exist for others. And it's very important that this lesson, if you are to forgo the rest of whatever I'm saying today, and if you can pick one thing from this lesson, is that spirituality, humans are spiritual beings, and you exist for another person, to service that other person, to save that other person. That's the reason why we exist. Spiritual goals, actionable tips. Like we mentioned, you must dedicate a time each week to reflect or prayer. It's very important for you to sit down, read the Bible, or just meditate and refresh your mind. Think of things that are happening in your life, how you can express your gratitude to the blessings that you are receiving in your life, and that is through reflection and prayer. Then engage in gratitude journaling to deepen your connection with life's purpose. Gratitude journaling is where you have to write down what are you grateful for. Okay? What are you grateful for this morning? I'm grateful for ABCD. I'm grateful for waking up this morning. I am grateful for having a good health. I'm grateful for my family. These are daily practices. You must wake up and engage yourself in gratitude journaling. And if you write it down, that's why we're saying journaling, you even get the better benefit of this. Then the third actionable tip is volunteer or participate in community service projects. Give your helping hand and let people appreciate, and that will give you a good spiritual growth as well. The last point, which is the 60th point here, is people goals, relationships and networking. Whether you're a professional or you just an ordinary person, relationships are important. Just as I said, we exist to serve other people. So human connections are essential to a fulfilled human life. It's key, it's critical. It's part of us serving other people. We must therefore set goals around relationships. That includes strengthening our relationships, expanding our professional networks through networking. And in that aspect of building relationships, we must understand that people are going to be at different levels, okay? And for that reason, mutual respect remains a paramount idea. Because today, one is at this level, tomorrow one is at this level. Nobody should look down upon any other human being, because every person has an opportunity that opens at a certain time, and things may change, levels may change. Therefore, we uphold mutual respect to each other, and that will avoid electrical engineers have this saying that you must stay grounded, or else you risk short-circuiting relationships, meaning you can sabotage your own relationships because you're not grounded, you're not earthed. The last one, people goals. What can you do? Number one, commit to regular communication with friends and family. A simple call, a message goes a long way. So you set up a plan, regular communication. As I said, humanity is about saving one another, okay? This is part of humanity. Communicate. Number two, surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. You need that inspiration. You want to be financially stable, associate yourself with people that are doing fine financially and can guide you and provide lessons to you. Birds of the same feathers flock together. So whoever you want to associate with, see what can benefit you. Then set networking goals, attend industry events, connect with a certain number of new professionals this year, and this is going to build you into a better human being.